Hey guys, so this is my 1953 Necchi BU Nova. It was made for 1 year. It was a model that followed the Necchi BU. It had some improvements over the BU, and it was made for 1 year, and then they went over to the Necchi Mira, BU Mira. This personally is my favorite of the three in the BU line. It incorporates some of the updates that the Mira had, but still retain the look of the original BU. So this to me is really the pinnacle of the BU machine. It's a straight and zigzag stitch machine, Italian made. It is a vertical oscillating hook machine, so it uses a class 15 bobbin. I've owned and restored a lot of Singers, a lot of Pfaffs, Adlers, Neckis, and to be honest, the Necchi is actually probably between this and the Pfaff, it's probably one of my favorites. They each have their plus and minuses, but overall I would say the Necchi is a better machine for a variety of reasons. I figured I'd just make a video showing how the thing sews and then kind of point out some of the features that differentiate it. So I'll just start with the sewing with the machine so you can see how it functions. This is like 8 layers of cotton. Let me see if I can zoom in so you can see the stitch quality a little bit better here. So I've already wound the bobbin and did the whole thing. I put red on the bottom and like a turquoise on the top so you can see the thread tension, and so the thread will stand out more against the black. So it's a straight and zigzag. Right now I'll do just a straight stitch. Oh, it's set in reverse, so there we go. So this is the longest stitch length, 6 millimeters in stitch length with the center position on the needle. You can adjust it between center, left, and then right, which is nice for doing more precise work. The stitch width is adjustable between straight stitch and 5 millimeters in width on the zigzag. So you can see that big zigzag there. You can drop it down. Typically when I'm doing a zigzag, I'll shorten the stitch length up. Say you want to do like a bar tack type thing. This is 1 millimeter stitch width, so 25 stitches per inch. And you can see how well this thing feeds, how uniform the stitches are. The tension's good. And then you can go back to straight stitch, bump up the stitch length, back in reverse. So you can see the stitch quality here is pretty phenomenal and consistent. So that's 1 millimeter in stitch length on a straight stitch. Looks really good. So it's a fast machine. It's a 1.1 amp motor, 5,000 RPM. This thing hauls really fast. But it's controllable too, so if you want to do slow speed sewing, you can do it. But if you want to go fast, it'll do that too, and it'll fly through material. You can see it's kind of bouncing around. The table that I have it in right now is homemade with just 3/4 inch plywood, and I kind of cut some corners while making it. It's not the most stable of platforms, but so yes, you can see the stitch quality on this is really good. Really balanced stitches. You see a couple specks where the turquoise sews through on the red. You would want to bump. I should have bumped the tension up just a little bit, but for the most part, it looks really good. It's you don't see any red coming through on the top there. So now let me show you the rest of the machine. So this really, it's as if the Italians grabbed all of the really excellent design features from the German-made Pfaffs and Adlers and also the American-made Singers and combined them in one machine. So it uses a class 15 bobbin oscillating, similar to say like the Singer 1591. So you can see the other side's really clean. It's a side-loading bobbin, vertical hook. Really accurate. The needle positioning lever is here, so you have your choice between left, center, and right. Stitch width is controlled via this lever here, and it's lockable, so you can lock it in place at 5 millimeters with that stop, and by tightening that knob down, and now I can't move it. You can set a range, say between 1 and 5 if you're doing some decorative stitches or something, and it'll go in between there. You can set it by pulling this knob. You can go between, say, 1 and 3, any variation that you would want. It has this locking capability. The stitch length lever, this is probably the best design that I've seen on any of the machines. Really precise. You see there's a little dial there. The left shows the millimeter stitch length, 0 through 4, and this right shows stitches per inch, which is more common on the American machines like the Singer. So basically 6 stitches per inch, and then infinitely adjustable down to 0 stitches per inch. And then basically at 6, 8, 13, and 25, which are the corresponding millimeter lengths. So the way that this works, basically you see this moves up and down, so you can really dial in the stitch length and get it accurate, and it's repeatable between projects, which is convenient. None of the other machines have that kind of precision in this dial here. You lock it down with the knob on the bottom, and it creates a stop now between the upper and lower indicators, so you can match your forward and reverse stitch lengths. So this thing is really precise, and the precision is throughout the whole machine. So you have really high precision on the stitch width, the stitch length, also the tension mechanism here. They use really fine threading, so there's a lot of threads per inch on this dial. It's like a Swiss watch. I mean, this thing is really precise, and you can dial in your upper tension and lock that in, and then do really fine adjustments. Same with the presser foot tension. I haven't seen any other machines with this where it has a dial on the side that shows you relative what your presser foot tension is. It's adjustable on the top. It shares some similar features to the German models, where the Singers have open oil ports, and it's difficult for people to differentiate between an oil port and just a hole in the machine that's needed for either adjustment or assembly. So people just go wild and just start oiling up the machine excessively, which is actually detrimental to the mechanics of the machine. But they did something pretty smart here. I don't know if Necchi came first or if it was the Germans that did this first, but they have these little ball bearings that seal, all these little oil ports that seal the entire mechanism. And basically what you do is you put a couple drops of oil, and it's domed, it's concaved. So you put like a drop of oil in there, and then you just depress those little ball bearings, and the oil will go down. And you don't want to excessively oil the machine. 1 drop of oil is fine, and then the frequency depends on your usage. But 1 drop of oil, you don't need to excessively oil these. And those oil ports are all over. Makes it really easy. Another key thing on the BU line, the zigzag line, the straight stitch uses low shank machines. This one, the BU Mira and Novas, use high shank feet. So this will accept industrial feet, unlike most modern domestic sewing machines where they use low shank. And this is great because you can buy really inexpensive industrial feet, and there are plenty of them out there that are highly specialized. So you can get rolled hem foots, you can get binder attachment feet, you can get top stitch guide feet, all for so much cheaper than you would spend, so much less money than what you would spend on a comparable domestic foot. And there's so many out there. So it comes with the standard foot like this, and there are some accessories out there. I don't have them, but there are. It has feed dog drops. So the feed dogs drop via a little knob inside here. You pull it up, and it will drop the feed dog. So you can use buttonhole attachments, although you don't need to because it's a zigzag capable machine. But you can use different attachments that would require you to drop the feed dogs, or you can use it. It's mainly used for free motion quilting, but you just need a different foot for that. But you push that lever down, and it re-engages the feed dogs. Another cool thing, you see these 2 screws? On most machines, you have to remove these 2 screws to remove the needle plate. Necchi did something kind of smart here where they kind of have the slide plate and the screw at the end hold this in place. And so what that allows you to do is once you move the slide plate over, you can pop this off really easily. So you can take off, remove the feed dogs, adjust do any adjustments that you may need, but mainly this is for maintenance. A lot of machines will accumulate lint in here, and you want to clean this out, this area. So that makes it really easy to access that. You just take a little brush, wipe it off, and you can keep the machine clean. This is the only machine that I'm aware of that has that easy of a needle plate removal. And then it does have the seam guide on the side. So overall, this is a phenomenal machine. Maybe I'll do another video highlighting the differences between this and the FAF, which I think is another great model. But if I had my pick, I would go with the Necchi over the FAF for a variety of reasons. But you're not going to go wrong with this. Definitely a more superior machine to say like a vintage Singer. So something to consider. Necchi BU, if you can find one in decent condition, definitely go take a look. Just keep an eye out that the wiring on these machines oftentimes need to be replaced. So take a close look to make sure that you're not going to run into any issues with that. And that's it. 1953 Necchi BU Nova, made in Italy. All right, thanks guys.